Next thing is the web menu. This again is to give you complete control over what type of web menu you want and what you want to appear on the menu. Just as an example, maybe instead of RMA, we want to call these returns. So I'll just change this word to returns, accept it, put this away. Now I've got to stop the web server again because I made a configuration change. And now that it's stopped, I'll just start them up again. Wait till it tells me that they're running. Okay, now if we go into our website, that RMA menu choice no longer says RMA. I've changed it to returns. And notice it says returns in caps. The point is, all of these menu choices are up to you. You can add menu choices and functionality behind those menu choices. You can take menu choices away. I'm going to show you a website in a few minutes of one of our customers where they took half these choices away so the customer just can't even use them. And also notice how these are dynamically displayed. If I increase the website, everything just stretches out with me. So that's changing the web menu. The next area, again, is very, very important. This is the category maintenance. This is basically the way I describe it, how you set up the departments within your web store. Just like a normal department store. It's got men's clothing, women's clothing, children's clothing. Well, you set up the departments in your web store with these categories. And if we pull up the website and look at it at the same time, this will make sense to you. I'll just log in. And then we'll pull up the category listing. So notice over here I have equipment, furniture, printers, and specials. I have equipment, furniture, printers, and specials. Notice those are the only ones that are labeled as top level. There's a couple here that are labeled as not top level, cables, disks, and modems. And notice you don't see those in the main product menu. The reason is that they're not a top level category. So what happens with those? Let's put the website away for a minute. Let's close this down. And let's go into category tree maintenance. This is how you set the stores up, or I'm sorry, the departments up. So inside equipment, which was one of those top level choices, I have cables, disks, and modems. Then these three were also top level choices. So again, if I bring the web store up, here's my top level choices. Equipment, there's equipment. Furniture, there's furniture. Printer, there's printers. And here's specials. But notice in equipment I said I have cables, disks, and modems. So if I go into equipment, here's my cables, disks, and modems, and we renamed it to data communications. So you completely control how you set up what your departments look like. And actually, let's do that. We'll go up to category maintenance and we'll add a new category called BW stuff. So it's Brian Watercott stuff, and we're going to make this a top category item. And we'll just say it's Brian's crapola. So now I have a new top level menu item. And if I pull the store up, go back out to equipment so the screen refreshes itself, I immediately have a brand new top level item, but there's nothing in it, and there's Brian's crapola. But now I've got to go into the category tree maintenance. There's BW stuff, and what we'll do is we'll add cables in there, we'll add disks in there, we'll add modems in there, accept it, pull up our web store, go into Brian Watercott stuff, and now we've got a brand new department with items in it. The beauty of this is that an item can appear in more than one place. If we go into Brian Watercott stuff and go to cables and accessories, here's this 25-pin AB switch. If we go back into equipment and go to cables and accessories, here's that AB switch. This is a far cry from even what inventory does in MAS90. Back in inventory, when I pull up an item in inventory, I can only put an inventory item into one product line. But you might want an item to show up in multiple places in your web store, which is what this category maintenance is all about. Now, if we go back up into the inventory maintenance, now we'll see what another screen was all about that we looked at earlier. I'll pull up this, and we'll go to the items. And right now, this 2-drawer letter file without lock is showing up in the furniture category, but we're also going to want to have it show up in Brian Watercott's stuff. So if I accept this, put away inventory, and open this back up, now we go to Brian Watercott's stuff, and there's that 2-drawer letter file without lock. And yet, if I go to my specials, if I go to equipment, it was in furniture. There we go, there's my 2-drawer letter file without lock. I'm able to put an item into as many areas in the store as I want to make sure my customer doesn't miss it. So I give my customer more and more of a chance of seeing the things that I want him to be able to buy. So now if we go back down to eBusiness Manager, Continue Setup, so that was the category maintenance, that was the category tree maintenance. These last two, I can't really demo them for you because I can't set myself up as an email server, but this is how you set up all the email messages. For example, here's where the customer info is accepted or rejected. Here's where we are acknowledging receipt of your shopping cart. So you build the email message. You can drop in mail merge items from MAS90. So here's the field. So that was the user that submitted the order. Here's the sales order info, which we have in there. So you construct these emails and indicate, I want this, when somebody places an order, I want the receipt of the shopping cart order. In other words, just indicate that we received your order. Thank you very much for placing your order. I want the user that placed the order to get that. I want the client's supervisor. So if it was Fred that placed the order, Fred Flintstone, I want Artie to get a copy of the mail also. I want my internal webmaster at ABC Distribution Company to get the email. And of course, I want my salesperson to get a copy of the email so he knows Fred Flintstone just placed an order. So you have complete control of all of these email messages, as well as the reason codes. Remember, we didn't have a reason code before, so we're just going to make one because you are a lousy customer. So you can build up whatever reason code you want. I'll make one that's less silly. And we'll just say DMG, damaged goods. So then later on you'll see that when we're accepting and rejecting orders, I can attach these reasons to it. The last menu choice we're going to skip. It's a little more detailed than what I intend for today's memo. This is the menu choice, though, that lets you completely change the look and feel of the website, the store, completely how it looks. And just for a pause, we'll take a look at some of those heavy modifications that you can make. I'll go back to our web store just so you get a feel for what it looks like again. So basically this is what you've been looking at. I move into the different stores, printer specials, go back to Brian's stuff. I've got the menu choices up here, and that's basically what the web store looks like. Now though, let's go to a website that we maintain. This is for eBM.com. These are some websites that we've built for our customers or that they might have built for themselves. So if I go to, here's the live installations. Oh, let's see a good example. Here's a good example. Robert Leslie Publishing. This is a lot of activities, child games, and books and things of that nature. So if I pull up Robert Leslie's Publishing web store, you can see this looks completely different than what you're looking at in my demo store that we've been working with today. If we go to their multimedia section, they've completely changed the blocking and the look and the feel, so it looks and matches their actual website. So when somebody's on Robert Leslie's website and jumps into their store, it's just part of their website. Another good example would be Faucet Boat Supply. Again, a complete different look. This is where they have all the different departments set up. They have sub-departments set up this way. They even have departments set up in the picture area here. If I want to go to cabin and cockpit, here's the subcategories they've got set up. I want to go into bells. Now I start seeing the items with the bells. So this, if you want to go explore this website on your own, please feel free to do so. It's called forebm.com, and there's a lot of information on this website regarding the MAS 90 eBusiness Manager.